So, in this segment, we're going to be talking about Brexit leaving British citizens stranded in EU countries. This is predominantly impacting families who need, I think it's a family visa to come back to the UK. And the Home Office, what the Home Office is doing here is absolutely shambolic, in my opinion. And Priti Patel and the department should be ashamed. So, a 67-year-old British woman who planned to return to Britain with her 80-year-old French husband after 30 years in France has told how Home Office delays have left them waiting almost a year for the Brexit paperwork they need to set foot in the country. And I think I actually covered this story last year. So that's how long this has been going on for. Carmel and her husband, Louis, who asked their real names not be used, probably in fear of some sort of reprisal from the Home Office, sold their house last year, packed up all their belongings, having read that it would take 15 days to get a family permit. So 15 days, that's good. That's fairly quick. But that's not the case. They applied for the paperwork on the 22nd of April, but have been in limbo for 10 months, camping out with their children and unable to get on with their lives. 10 months to get a family permit. And the Home Office, they talk about the complexity and all this stuff. Like, it's that complex. It's taking you more than, it's going to take you more than 10 months to fix it. Really? Honestly? Does anyone believe that? She says, "We packed everything up, we sold the house, and it's just non-communication from the Home Office," said Carmel. "My husband went through a phase of being very depressed about the whole thing. He said, 'What are the Home Office waiting for me to die?' sort of thing." This gentleman's 80. He hasn't got a lot of time left in this world, and the Home Office are absolutely playing games with these people's lives. I think we've got to the point of disbelief. We're in this situation, but how are we in this situation? Carmel said they had a very happy 30 years in France, but wanted to return home, and they could have their reasons for that, but it doesn't matter what their reasons are. The fact is the Home Office has taken over 10 months to give them a family permit, which should only really take 15 days. We feel like we are a victim of Brexit and there is nothing we can do about it. We are just waiting. We can't get on with our lives, she said. Carmel is one of the thousands of British citizens living in Europe, furious that their rights have been compromised because of Brexit, despite government promises to the contrary, because the government promises big but rarely ever deliver. The campaign group British in Europe has written to 4 Secretaries of State, including Liz Truss, the Foreign Secretary, Patel, the Home Secretary, begging them to deliver on Conservative Party promises that British citizens in the EU would not face an erosion of rights because of Brexit. I would have also written to the Prime Minister, to be honest. It has urged 4 cabinet members who include Theresa Coffey, which is an interesting choice, the Work and Pensions Secretary, and Nadeem Zahawi, the Education Secretary, who makes more sense because, some of these people, family permits, typically have children, which that does go into the realm of education. Not to forget the 1.2 million British citizens in Europe, and warning them of 4 potential risks they face because of Brexit. And, 1.2 million citizens, if any one of them has a family and wants to come back to the UK, it can be extremely complex and ridiculous. These include ongoing issues for British citizens trying to return home, and a call for them to extend a 29th of March deadline for applications of those non-UK spouses to apply for settled status. And the thing is, if the UK extends the deadline, at least it gives them more time to deal with applications, because evidently, unless they're claiming that their admin team are very busy, there is no excuse for this. It also wants them to answer a request to issue a clear statement that those family members who are entitled to enter the UK... I mean, this bit here is ludicrous, to be honest. This is absolutely insane. So family members who are entitled to enter the UK on a visitor permit will be able to do so in order to move physically to the UK to make the application to remain under the EU settlement scheme. So essentially they have to get a temporary visa first, physically move to the UK, and then apply for the full settlement scheme, which doesn't make any sense. It's just adding extra work for the Home Office. Surely they should be able to apply from wherever they are. It makes sense. It's thought there are thousands of British nationals waiting for permits to make the move home permanent. These are British nationals waiting, people, British citizenship, who need the government's help to come back here, and the government absolutely doing nothing to help them. The Home Office has declined a Freedom of Information request, which again, surely, that's kind of not criminal, but it's just immoral that people are trying to get information as to what's going on, and the Home Office are just declining them. Which surely there's a review mechanism for that, and they're also refusing parliamentary questions from the former Brexit Select Committee Chair Hilary Benn for data, which this would have been, I think, under Yvette Cooper's remit before, but surely someone has to hold Priti Patel accountable. British in Europe is closing after 6 years. They've urged Liz Truss and her colleagues to scrap the decision to cancel dedicated funding in embassies and consular posts to help British citizens in the EU and the European Economic Area, arguing they need dedicated officers in post until at least the end of 2022. And again, the whole point of embassies and consulates are meant to be there to help British citizens abroad, or that country's citizens abroad. So the fact that they're cutting staff essentially that would help with these applications is just a joke, because that's one of the points you have an embassy, is so nationals from your country can go to the embassy if they have problems abroad. Genuinely beggars belief that these people claim to be patriots. The letter was sent before a meeting on Monday of the UK and EU officials sitting on a Brexit specialised committee on citizens' rights, which again, the UK have to do much better on. A Home Office spokesperson declined to give a reason for a 10-month delay. They referred to the complexity, which many applications for family permits have complained was a standard response to questions like, oh yeah, you guys are taking 10 months for my application when it's only meant to take 15 days. Why is that? Oh, you see, bro, it's very, very complicated, and families and stuff. So yeah, we can't, it's taking a long time, and 10 months, yeah, it's a while, but, it could be worse. Imagine Labour in charge, honestly. Actions for EU settlement scheme EUSS family permits are decided as soon as possible, which simply is not the case because it wouldn't have taken 10 months. But waiting times can vary depending on the volume of applications received, and by extending the deadline, you give yourself more time to actually review these applications and the complexity of the case considered. I mean, this one doesn't seem that complex, to be honest. As a result, customers, and again, this is something that annoyed me about the Department for Work and Pensions as well. Like, the Home Office and DWP describing people as customers make no sense. These aren't customers, you clowns. These are British citizens and people looking to get residency in the UK. They're not customers. They're not really buying a service from you, are they? You don't buy citizenship. You have to pay for it, but you don't go outright and buy it. Honestly, customers. What a joke. They may experience a longer wait time than usual for their decision on EU SSS family permit applications, the spokesperson said. What a joke the Home Office are from top to bottom, honestly. This whole thing, right, is just absolutely so unfair on these people who, want to come back to the UK with their families, and the Home Office are taking 10 months, putting these people's lives on hold in order to deal with it. I just can't. Can anyone point to a competent Tory minister? Can anyone point to one, honestly? Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.